Hey, what's up guys? Dominique, Danielle here again, and I am back with another story time. Because my life can be pretty spontaneous from time to time, then I can be a little boring, but at the end of the day, stuff happens. So, I'm going to get into the story about when I was robbed at gunpoint. Now, I know you thinking, wait, what? How? Okay, first of all, I gotta start off by explaining this, or telling you this. I'm from the hood, okay? I am straight from the slums. I've never lived in a nice place until a little later. Like, I think now is the nicest neighborhood that I've ever lived in my life, ever. Alright? I had never gotten robbed out of all the years of living in the most dangerous neighborhood in Alton, Illinois. Being from East St. Louis, never had this happen to me before in my life. I moved straight from the hood out of Alton, Illinois, straight into the hood, into Atlanta, Georgia. I lived in the middle, slap dab in the hood. Never gotten robbed, never gotten anything taken as far as out my hands, my house. Well, there was one time I was jugged. That's a whole nother story time for a whole nother day. But I'm taken aback by how I was really, literally robbed at gunpoint. So let me get into it. As you know, I work for radio. I work for Atlanta's #1 hip hop station. I've been in the industry for years, since I was 15. Alright? As soon as I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, I went straight into the radio station, interning, and been in that industry ever since. And that's because I sing and all this other stuff, but that's not the point. I get into the industry, I'm in this radio, I love it. I love doing radio. But, you know, you get the perks of going to different listening parties. You know, you talk, you make friends with different celebrities and different people. So you know these people and you get invited to their events, or, you know, you go out and you can have a good time at their events or network, whatever the case is, right? Me and two other girls, I'm going to name her Ashley. And her friend name was Mocha. Ashley and Mocha. So Ashley is already into television and hosting and all different things like that, and interviews with artists and different stuff for herself. And Mocha was her friend who was coming along with her as well. So this is about 2 years ago? It was about 2 years ago. K-Camp was having a listening party. I love K-Camp, love his music to this day. And we were going to go there, network, get some interviews, talk to everybody, have a good time, right? Now, because of my job, I'm able to go. So I made sure, you know, I got on the guest list and everything, and made sure everything was straight on my behalf, and for her as well, for Ashley and Mocha. Now, they already had their connects too, so it wasn't like they got in through my job. She already had her own thing going as well, so she was just riding with me. It's this little spot, and it's a pretty dope spot in this city, right downtown Atlanta, where they do a lot of hostings and different stuff, listening parties, different stuff like that, all the time. It happens all the time. But it's not the hood, it's the city, so it's pretty dangerous. I'm from the country, so I'd never experienced the city before like that in my life up until now. We're trying to find a place to park. So I'm riding. Now, mind you, let me give you a little backstory, okay? I just got a Camaro, right? And drop top, all black. I call it the Batmobile, but I got my little logo on the back to, you know, to let people know that, I'm into Transformers. It's an Autobot, and I named my car Optimus Prime. Yes, he's not a truck anymore. He's my car. Anyway, so I've been having my car for a while, but it's still like really kicking into me. And my mother asked to use my car, got into a car accident, and my car was in the daggone shop for a month. So I just got my car about three or 4 months prior to, and then it was in the shop for a month and a half, and then I just got it back. I'm feeling good. We're going to an event. I'm working. I'm getting stuff done, and we go to park. At this club where they do the hosting, it's a part where you can get valet parking, but valet parking is $20. Even if you work for the station or whatever, you still gonna pay for valet parking. Not me. So I was like, shoot, I'm finna find me a side street or something. So they like, girl, yeah, we ain't finna pay no, So I was like, cool. Mind you, right across the street from the spot that we're going to is an apartment complex. So we go into this apartment complex to park, because we're not finna pay $20, $30 to valet park. Okay, this is me saving money. It's dark outside, but I ain't ever been afraid of that type of stuff. I just never have, right? So we go in here. She's like, girl, go park by the dumpster. It also has a light that's not really far from where I park near the dumpster. So it's dark, but it's light, basically. But it's by the dumpster. We start getting our stuff, getting out and getting all our stuff ready to go in, getting ready to work, right? I've stepped out. And the girls are stepped out. They stepped out on the other side. I may not seem like I'm paying attention, but I notice everything. I see this dude walk past the car. So I already felt an eerie feeling about it. It was an awkwardness there. Like I felt it. Like I tell you, no lie, it made me feel like, watch him. So I watched him walk. He was just kind of busted. He didn't look like he had it all. So he walks out of pure view, right? I don't see him no more. Me and the girls, we still grabbing our stuff, and then all of a sudden, this motherfucker start walking back. Someone said, watch him again. But he's walking a little slower. So he's walking up, and then all of a sudden, he just kind of puts a little pep to his step and walks up to the girls on the passenger side of my car with the gun out in pure view, just where you can see it. He walks up, he says, ladies, I ain't gonna hurt you. Just don't scream. Give me your purse, give me your money, give me everything you got. We sitting there. We kind of, like, I think, like, I'm on the driver's side of the car. So he at them first, right? He ain't even at me. So I'm standing there and I'm like, now these are the things that's flowing through my head while they're waiting, while he's over there robbing them. I'm like, okay, I can't make no sudden movements because I don't want him to hurt them. And he don't have a mask on. So I'm like, Lord God, he ain't got no mask on. This might be my day. Then I'm thinking, do I got my key card? I hope he don't try to take my key card because I got to go to work in the morning. This is the stuff I'm thinking in my head. Okay, we are getting robbed, and I'm thinking about, damn, he ain't gonna take my car. I just got this out the shop. I ain't playing no games with this nigga. He ain't taking my car. Then I'm thinking to myself, okay, I don't want to make no sudden movements because I don't want him to hurt them. But I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, pay attention, because if he kill them, he gonna kill me. So let me hurry up and make sure I'm paying attention here. Because if I got to at least try to make a run to jump in the car and start that bitch as quick as possible and get the hell on, like whatever, I'm gonna do that, right? Now the girls, he scared us. And he really scared them to the point to where it was so shocking, they just stood there. And we just stood there for a second. Like we didn't get no purse, we didn't get no money, we didn't give him nothing he asked for. We just kind of stood there in shock, like. And then he said, ladies, give me your purse, this, and this. And he pulled the gun up, but he pulled it up just to where they could see it. It wasn't like he pointed it at them. Ashley and Mocha started grabbing their stuff and they give him the purse and everything. So then, automatically, at that moment, when he took that shit, I thought to myself, Dominique, you don't carry purses, you dumbass. He gonna think you lying and shoot you. That's what I'm thinking. Like, this nigga gonna think I'm lying that I say I don't have a purse. Man, I'm finna die today. I'm finna die today. Dead ass. So, he walks around. First thing he does, I don't know what type of look I had on my face. I don't know if I gave him a certain impression. I don't know what it was, but the moment he walked over to my side of the car, give me your money, your purse, and everything else, your keys, all that. And he points the gun dead at my chest. Dead at my chest. Now, he did not point the gun at the ladies. He didn't point it at them. It was two of them. It was only one of me. I didn't understand why he wanted to point the gun at me. Maybe because he didn't know what I had when he came to walk over on my side or something. But I know it had to be a look or something. Because he just automatically pointed the gun straight to my chest. Give me your purse, your keys, your phone, everything, your money, all that. So as calmly as I did, I swear and I tell you no lie, I don't know what type of person I am under pressure, but this is all I had. Look, bro, I ain't got no purse. Sorry. He was like, well, what do you have? My keys and my phone. He was like, well, give it to me. I was like, you sure you want this phone? This shit raggedy as hell. It's like you can't even text on here for real. Like you can't even receive a text. He was like, give me your phone. I was like, you sure? And so we kind of just stood there. And I was like, here. And I just handed him the phone. But I'm like, nigga, what you want this phone for? It's so fucking... I dropped my phone more than a prostitute drops her drawers So the phone was raggedy as hell. Okay, so I tell you no lie, I could barely receive texts. The phone calls barely came through. The phone was just shitty. So I'm like, why is he taking it? I could barely use it. You ain't gonna use it. But anyway, I give him the phone. You know how you'll step out of your car and you'll stand there while your door is still open. So that's how I am. Picture me standing there while my door is still open. Man, I'm about to die tonight. That's what I thought to myself. Like, I'm finna die tonight. Because I'm finna fight this nigga. He tried to take this car with my keys. Like, dead ass. I just got it out the shop. I'm not giving nobody enough. I worked hard for this car. I slept 6 months at my job on the floor. So I would not be late when my last car broke down. I slept on the floor at my job so that I would never be late to save up so I could pay off the car that did not run and then pay for the car that I wanted. The actual car I wanted. I was not finna let this nigga take my stuff. I worked my ass off for it. Yes, that's how I felt. So I stood there. He was like, what else you got? I was like, I ain't got nothing else. And he was like, what's that in your pocket? Like, I turned, I looked, I said, oh, that's my wallet. And so we just looked at each other for a second. And he was like, well, give it to me. I was like, can I get my key card out first? Because give me your wallet. I was like, He says, now give me your keys. I stood there again. And I took my time. I was like, I'm thinking, nigga, this finna be a fight. If you try to move me out the way to take this car, I'm finna die tonight. And you finna die with me. That's all I was thinking. So I give him the keys. I finally get my hand over to give him the keys to my car. Takes them in his hand. Have a nice night, ladies. And walks off. He walked off with my keys and my key card. I was so mad. I think I was more mad than scared than I'd ever been in my life. And I thought to myself, if that nigga wouldn't have took my keys, I would have literally jumped in my car and hit him, ran him full over, just boop boop. Like, and then put it in reverse and took that thing back and got my damn key card. And so the girls that I was with, Ashley and Mocha, was like, damn girl, you didn't even seem scared. And I was like, all I could think about was my key card. I gotta go to work in the morning. Like, that's all, like, cause all I do is work. Like, I love working. So, when that's all I do, I'm thinking, how the hell am I gonna get in the morning time? Because they ain't gonna buzz me in because we get, different people change. So they were doing some different stuff by the gate. So all this stuff I'm thinking about while I'm getting robbed. They probably ain't gonna buzz me in and this nigga took my key card. Fuck. The other girl still had her phone. Now, she didn't put her phone in her purse. I think she had like 2 phones or something like that. But she had a phone. And so she called, she was like, girl, I still got this phone. I'm gonna call the police. So she calls the police. They asking us, what we done seen and how this happened and all this other stuff. And the whole entire time, the girls are scared. And I don't blame them because I was scared, but it wasn't, I don't know. I have this weird way of dealing with things. Like when something is violence, I have a way with dealing with it. I crack jokes the entire time. Like the entire time the police was talking, he was like, did he take your keys? Hell yeah, he took my damn keys. Look, I was getting ready to fight his ass. Like for real, it took me a second to give him my keys straight up. They couldn't believe how calm and how unafraid I was. They was like, I ain't never seen nobody be that not scared with a gun to your chest. He literally pointed the gun straight to my chest and I did not, it was just like, oh, you ain't taking my car. You ain't doing it. I'm finna have it. I'm not going for it. I'm finna die tonight. And you ain't got no mask on? I might just go out this bitch anyway. So guess what? I'm gonna fight. I'm cracking jokes and everything. The girls are still shook. But I will say this. Though I was not afraid, what scared me is that this man had my ID. So he knew where my house was at the time. He had my keys. The keys to my house and my car. So if he wanted to come to my house at the time, or if he wanted to take my car, it would be sitting in my driveway with them keys. That type of stuff scared me. I was shook for about 3 days after that because I thought to myself, he could still come to my house. He knows where I live. He has my ID. I'm like, shit, like he could come and take the car now, or he could come and unlock the door, while I'm in my house and hurt me. That was more of what I was shook about at the end of the day. Things kind of ended up passing after the police, you know, they were trying to track the phones and all that other stuff. My phone was so damn raggedy. I didn't have an iPhone or nothing where you could track it. You couldn't track nothing of mine, and hell, I dropped it so many times. If I had any type of tracking device in it, it was broken. I can guarantee you that. At the end of the day, it wasn't working. That was just a lost cause. He still to this day, he probably threw my stuff by now. It's been 2 years. But the man was walking around with my keys and my card and my cards, my bank cards, and my key cards and my job. So he had that, and I had to get that locked down. I had to get all that stuff changed over, had to get my cards canceled, had to get my extra pair of keys from my mother. Then I had to, you know, kind of think to myself, should I get my locks changed? Change my locks to my doors, do all this other stuff. So I had to redo everything, because I was like, hell, it's one thing to have a gun to my chest at that moment, but you ain't finna come to my house and just get in. I'm not finna play them games. I made it out though with a good sense of humor. I do to this day, like I went on my radio show, and I'm not the type of person to really wish bad on somebody. I don't wish death or anything like that, but I was just like, Lord, may the back of your ankles get stuck to the back of your shoulders, and you have to live that way. From that day though, I will say that I am very watchful and I pay very much attention to when myself tells myself, I don't care if that makes sense to you or not, but it makes sense to me. When myself tells myself, watch them, or that's not right, or hey, that's not good, or this person seems kind of off, I don't give a damn. I'm listening to it, because every time it's ever told me, it was right. Trust it, because it's protecting you, basically. It's really protecting you. I feel like it's God, to be quite honest with you. God gives you a keen sense of things. God is good. He kept me from being killed. I saw his face. He didn't shoot me. Though he pointed it straight to my chest, he didn't shoot me. It made me look at everything differently. Because again, I lived in the hood in the most dangerous parts of Atlanta, of Alton, and I'd never been robbed, never been hurt, other than getting into a fight. You know what I'm saying? So, alright, I gotta end this story time. But thank you guys so much for watching, and of course I got more story times for you. I got hella stories. It is what it is. Alright, so make sure you click that like and subscribe, and make sure you stick around because more is coming. Alright, till next time. Bye.